Welcome to Scented Pages. Hello. Welcome and welcome back to my channel, baby. I'm a little bit more quieter, a little more subdued this morning because it's early as hell still, as usual. I'm always up super early and I don't want to be too loud. People still sleep and whatnot. But I've got my coffee and I am ready to talk about these two books that I read this week about secrets. So the one book I had gotten from the library, and it was by Adele Parks. And I'm liking her as much as I like Freida McFadden. So I read two books. The first one was by Adele Parks called One Last Secret. And then the second one was by Freida McFadden called Want to Know a Secret. So the first one, One Last Secret, by Adele Parks, is about this girl named Theodora, right? Dora for short. She is an escort, like a high-end escort. And she also has this best friend named Evan. And Evan just loves her for who she is. He loves her no matter what. He's like a trust fund baby. He has, his family is rich, so he doesn't really have to work. He hasn't really had a whole lot of like life experiences about, too much bad stuff. So, he just kind of rolls with the punches with Dora and is her like ride or die. So they've never, even with, Dora's profession as being an escort, like a roulette prostitute, they've never had sex though. Even though they're like, best friends and of the opposite sex, they've never done that at this point. So Dora gets a job. She goes on this job, and the John ends up beating the dog shit out of her. Like, he really beats her within an inch of her life. And he gives her this warning. And he's like, stop what you're doing, or else it's going to get worse. So Dora goes home. She's like, all frazzled. She's like, what the hell? Like, what was that all about? She didn't really get a good look at the guy's face because he had on a mask. But she was able to get enough of him to get enough of him. So he beats her up real bad. She leaves. She goes straight to Evan, and she tells him what happened. And immediately he is like, oh my God, like, are you okay? Like, can you just quit this job and just let me take care of you? Like, just let me marry you. Quit it, and, I'll marry you. And the only stipulation is that you have to never do another job again. Like, you can't escort ever again in life. You have to quit from this point on. And she was like, okay, fine. So now she has a fiance. And I like their relationship because it was so like matter of fact. Like, they rolled so gently and so well from being friends to engaged. It was almost comical, but it happened so easily for them, I guess, because they, really were attracted to one another. But anyway, so then she's going about, with Evan as, her fiance, but then one day she gets a call from, she used to work through, she had like an agent. I forget what the agent's name was, but she used to work through this lady. And the lady gave out her phone number to somebody, even though she told her that she wasn't doing any more jobs and that she wasn't interested in anything else. The lady gave out her phone number still to this guy named Daniel. And Daniel's like, he contacts Dora and he's like, Dora, can you just please come with me on one last job? Like, we don't have to do anything sexual. I just need you to fake the funk like we are in a relationship while I'm on this vacation with these people, like his business associates and stuff. He really wanted it to be like he had a real girlfriend. He's like, you don't have to do anything sexual, and I will pay you the same amount of money as if you did. Like no sweat. Like, just pretend like you're my girlfriend. She was like, She gets to thinking about it, you know what I mean, in her little head, and she rolling it around, and she's justifying going and doing this one last job, by saying, oh, well, I mean, I'm not really breaking my promise to Evan because I'm not having sex. And so, that kind of makes it okay. And that's fine. Mind you, this job is like way in France somewhere, in this French chateau villa, way, way far away. So she decides to do it, of course. honey, when she gets there and she meets everybody, she recognizes one of the guys as the man who beat the hell out of her. She recognizes that it's him, and then from there, honey, S hits the fan. It gets real for her, and she has a weekend from hell. But then what you think is the last secret, it really isn't the secret at all. And it's so good. Oh my goodness. I gave that one by Adele Parks 5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. I also really liked Dora. She was funny and witty. She was fun to have her perspective on things, to have her view in most of the book. It was good. I really enjoyed the ending. I really enjoyed the twist. I understood it. I won't give away what the twist was, but I will say, if I were in Dora's shoes, if you read the book, then you'll understand why I'm saying this. Or what I'll say is, if I were in Dora's shoes, I wouldn't have kept it a secret. I would have had to tell Evan. But that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that. The next book that I read, called Want to Know a Secret, was by Freida McFadden, and I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Only because I was a little more distracted with this book than I was with the first book, and I got it, and it was a really good book, but I didn't really get all of everything the way that I really wanted to. I was, doing a whole lot of stuff while I was listening to this book. The first book I was able to read because it was a library book, and I was able to get everything. But this book I was a little distracted, but at any rate, it was still good. So it's about this small town little YouTube star girl. Her name is April Masterson, and her YouTube channel is about baking. So she's like a pretty well known on YouTube and in her little town, and she makes baked goods. And her little tagline on her channel is "Want to Know a Secret," and then she'll tell you a little secret about how to enhance whatever delicious baked good you're into, whether it's adding a little more oil or putting whatever in it. It'll be some sort of little secret, little tidbit that'll enhance it. And she's making all kinds of What I liked most about this book was, if you really are a foodie like me, I love food, and I love eating, and I love pastries. And she would just describe these lemon tarts and cinnamon buns and cookies and things that she would make for her friends, and oh my God. And they sounded so delicious, so good. And I really enjoyed that part of the book. It was almost like I could smell the book as I was reading it. It was delicious. It was Listen to me, it was delicious. It was a good description as far as food descriptions. The twist in it was good. I liked the ending. Let me see. I'm not going to give it away, but like I said, I liked how it was about, a YouTube star and her having secrets. She didn't need to be, somebody ends up like blowing up her YouTube channel and her life and her phone with messages like, I know is your son, where you really, is your son where he is, like your son isn't really where you think he is, type stuff, like text messages like that. Taking pictures of her in compromising situations and sending them to her. Like, she had secrets that she didn't need to be, she needed to sort her life out before she decided to be a daggone YouTube star, because it was stuff that could ruin her. Like, why wouldn't you iron out a few things before you go blasting all over YouTube? I don't know. But it was good, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. So if you like thrillers about in suburbia, like suburban life, that one was good because it was more so just, like I said, it wasn't quite the hood books that I usually read. It was more so suburban white women and drama, but it was interesting. It was still good. I really liked it. 4 out of 5 stars for that. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a second video with my library haul that I went and got yesterday. I went to the library and we went to Chipotle. I didn't get any footage from that. It was okay. That was my first time with Chipotle, and it was okay. I don't know that I would ever really like be craving Chipotle, like that again, but it was okay for a good first time experience, I guess. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap this one up, and I'll be back with my library haul, and I'll see you next time.